The demand for traditional wildlife products such as pangolin scales and elephant penises continues to rise. eNCA, a crime watch body countering transnational crime in Africa, says numerous arrests were made in Uganda last year. It says the country has seen an increase in poaching and other illicit trade despite the global pandemic. So let's discuss this now with Mohamed Daghar, who joins us now from Nairobi, Kenya. Very good morning to you, Mohamed. Tell us about what it is that you are seeing in Uganda.
We are seeing that one of the biggest types of transnational organized crime, that is the illegal international wildlife trade, continues unabated even during the COVID-19 pandemic that kicked in Uganda and in the region by the first quarter of 2019. We have had Uganda as a source and also a transit country of illegal wildlife trade. From 2009 to 2014, we had a seizure of over 20 metric tons of ivory alone that passed through Uganda. In 2019, we had over 750 pieces of ivory that were seized in Uganda, and most likely they were from South Sudan. We thought this would have gone down with the restrictions of COVID-19 in 2020, but wildlife crime continued.
Okay, and why Uganda in particular? Why is it so rife there? And what is the problem under lockdown? Is it because the manpower that is needed isn't there?
I think yes, but also Uganda remains a transit country for wildlife trophies, if we are to use that term, from Central African countries, for example, the DRC, East African countries, for example, South Sudan. So this cash is normally present through Uganda, and it can stay there for some time before it moves. We also see that it's a source country of both traditional and also new products. Traditional products, you will recall that a fair, sizable share of the Lake Victoria is hosted by Uganda, and it is a source of hippopotamus, warthogs, pythons, snakes, monitor lizards, and most of these products come from Uganda's Lake Victoria. So it's a combination of it being a source, transit country, and also remember this is a regional problem. So even if Uganda has steps that is addressing this, but it requires more concerted efforts from a regional perspective.
Okay, I mean, we know about tusks, we know about pangolins, but elephant penises, and I believe there's an increase in that. Why?
It's it never stops, and this is why wildlife trade, illegal wildlife trade, should be a concern and should be in the discussion tables. Elephant penises are the delicacy and a high-end product used both as a delicacy and also for traditional medicine in mostly Asian countries. We have seen this with the penises of tigers. We have seen now this with the penises of elephants, unfortunately. So that's why I'm saying there's a kick in now of also new products that have become, a source of interest to some of these organized criminal networks. This includes also tortoises, parrots. Strangely enough, we had a gorilla that was killed, the most rare one, that is a silverback gorilla, having not been killed for 9 years in the Bwindi Impenetrable Park. We don't know what purpose that was for, but we are still yet to find out as researchers.
Mohamed, I mean, it makes me want to scream from here. I can't even imagine how you deal with this on a daily basis. Where are we getting this wrong? How come we cannot approach those countries and get the message to them about the fact that this is unacceptable? I mean, the sort of impact that it's having also on human health, we see it with COVID-19 now. But how do we stop them from thinking that these animals are going to give them something that clearly it's not?
I think that first, it's a very complex form of organized crime. I mean, we are talking of a value of around 7 to 23 billion United States dollars per year. This is the value of how complex this kind of trade is controlled by transnational organized criminals, and they are going to do whatever it is to make sure that this trade continues with or without global consensus. The world also is not talking along the same, there is no cohesive global conversation on a total ban of wildlife trade. Ambiguity in also laws is something that, hinders some of the concerted efforts that needs to be done. For example, in China, with COVID-19, by February 2020, they banned the consumption of wildlife. But, that means that they allowed the continuing of the usage of wildlife for traditional medicine, for ornaments, for pets, and what have you. So there are ambiguity in legislations, both in member states, in regional government, and also the global consensus around the world.
Mohamed, thank you for talking to us. I mean, obviously it's a bigger issue, and so many people who don't have money, who don't have jobs, are tempted into getting involved here. Mohamed Daghar, thank you very much.